Let's talk about it. Now, you know, as a professor, the wizard, and your field guide to the dark side, I cannot talk about one book without talking about several books. So I have several books for you. Several books for you. Let's talk about it. The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman. Let's talk about it. The Science of Love. We getting ready to talk about it. Mind Control 101 by Dantalion Jones. That's one of the names of the 72 demons of the Goetia. By the way, Dantalion. Shout out to them niggas whenever we say that. Dantalion, nigga. Like Beetlejuice. You feel me? Call that energy in. Fuck with me. We gonna talk about it. Hard facts of the Grimm's fairy tales. Now, this is going to be a little different than my other video. My other video, I was all excited and shit. This one, we going to try to stick to the motherfucking books, right? Because we do books on this channel. It's one of the main things we do is books. We get excited, but let's talk about the books, right? Let's get right to it. I'm trying to stay business on this one, but I know I'm going to get excited because I can't help it. All right. The hard facts of the Grimm's fairy tales. Again, like I said in my other videos, dude, I am not halfway through this book. There is, I'm looking at page 275 before it hits the index of tales. And the general index. But I'm looking at page 275. I'm on 100. So I'm not even halfway through this book. But it's fucking powerful. Because again, when this shit can take you to all these other books, we have the hard facts of Grimm's fairy tales. I'm going to try to keep that so you know you get this shit. Hard facts, right? Mind Control 101. I'm going to tell you again. The Science of Love. And I don't even know why I'm saying it again. You could pause this shit and write it down. What The Science of Love, John Baines. Do whatever the fuck you got to do. But try to be nice, right? Science of Love by John Baines. The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman. Shahrazad Ali. And there's some shit about this, like you can YouTube this shit. And The Kindness of Strangers. I don't know, you might be able to YouTube some of all these books. I don't know, but if you are YouTubing, you're going to run into me. So anyways, my bad. The Kindness of Strangers. The abandonment of children in Western Europe from late antiquity to the Renaissance. Late antiquity to the Renaissance. And when I see big thick ass book like this, like I said in my other videos, man, shit. It takes a minute. I got kids, I got jobs, I got hustles. I got shit going on, you know what I'm saying? So it does take a little minute to get through these books. And that's why I said, man, I think as I'm getting halfway through them, or just when the really profound shit pops out, that's when I'm going to start doing videos and whatever else. So I don't take too long in between these videos. But, see, it's a thick-ass book. And what that tells me is there's a lot of fucking evidence. Uh-oh, we got pictures. Oh, shit, we got pictures. But there's a lot of evidence, as you can tell. I ain't even been in this book yet. But there's a lot of evidence. And I kind of don't even have to. See, for me, I don't have to go through all them fucking details. You can keep all the goddamn details. What's the point? Give me enough meat and potatoes to get full. And once I'm full, I'm straight. I'm not greedy. I don't need nothing else. You know what I'm saying? So once I get the concept, once I get the point, I'm done here. This is a whole lot. And I'm not studying this shit like I'm in college. I'm shooting off for a degree. I'm just that whatever. You know what I mean? If the spirit bring me back to it, bring me back to it. So, let's rock. The hard facts of Grimm's fairy tales. Immediately. The one thing you have got to understand, I've said this before, I will say it again, fucking fairy tales were never fairy tales. Never. They were not meant for kids. Never. Never were they meant for kids. And we are going into mind control and the science, nigga, science of love. Okay? Not fantasies at all. See what I mean? Why do these two hard-ass motherfucking books come we talking about fairy tales? And that's fantasy shit, right? No, it's not fantasy. It's not fantasy when this is how you niggas act in real life. It's not fantasy when there are so many people out here. This is what really happens in real life, in reality. Fuck a fairy tale. This shit was never fairy tales. One of the things in mind control that it does, that you can always do, you can talk about a person or something that a person has done and put it in a faraway place, a faraway land. Put the situation, right? Say somebody robbed a bank and you don't think that's cool. Well, if you take the same scenario and put somebody else's name there, put it in a different town, city, state, whatever you want to call it, and you're telling this story to a person, basically you're trying to get them to relate to the main character in the story who robbed a bank in some other town or whatever and got locked up for 25 years or whatever, or got caught, or all these other people. You see what I'm saying? It's like a fairy tale, a pipe dream. You feel me? Nigga, you really think you're going to rob a bank, or you really think you're going to be able to start $1 million company? You really think you're going to start investing and hit 200, 300, 500 racks in a year? You really think that shit's going to happen? That's a fairy tale, nigga. A lot of us got fairy tales running through our minds all day, every day. That's why this shit is hard. That's why this shit matters. That's why this is a book that I'm talking about on my channel. Because this one fucking book brings out all these other books. And don't get me wrong, like I said, I haven't started reading The Kindness of Strangers. I did a little triple video about that shit. Well, I mean, it was 3 books in that video that I just got. Because I got them, and I mean, it hit me hard. So I wanted to share that with y'all immediately. But now that I'm reading them, I'm over halfway through The Sexual Politics in Ancient Athens, and that was Ancient Greece. I'm over halfway through that book, but I'm reading this book, that book, and whatever other book that jumps out at me that some shit needs to be seen, right? Because that's what I'm trying to do. Bring all this shit to you holistically. All right, and let's get to it. Let me just tell you how it all fucking connects. The hard facts, okay? So the shit was never meant for kids. The two things that you always see, always, what constitutes fairy tales, right, is the hardship that the hero or heroine has to go through. Or the shit they come up with. You know what I'm saying? I think they said it on Wreck-It Ralph how none of them bitches have a mom. Most of the females do not have a mom type figure. You know what I'm saying? Moana does. But Poppy don't. Cinderella, Snow White, this and that, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of evil stepmothers and whatnot that go on. Now, back in antiquity, in them early days, I have a book, my cousin's got it right now. It's called Dirt. But back in them days, these niggas did not have no real type of medical common sense. They didn't, oh my gosh, they were so fucking dumb. It's retarded. So this is why it's back to mentality and mind control and whatever else. My point is this, just to sum it all up, there were a lot of deaths at birth. You know what I'm saying? A lot of moms died giving birth to babies. These niggas didn't know no better. And men were scared of the vagina. A lot of the European man. Because again, Grimm's fairy tales. What the Grimm brothers did, and what it explains in this book, is why the fuck did they go back and change everything? There are 5 editions before you get to the fairy tales that we see today. These niggas revised that shit 5 times. The first time they just wrote the shit. So the first edition, it was what it was. The second edition, you know, a lot of critics and people talked about it and this and that and whatever else. They go over all that shit in the book. So they did a second edition and a third edition and a fourth and a fifth edition. Why did they do that shit? Because they were getting criticized. These stories are not for kids. How the fuck can you say, and it's Grimm's fairy tales only because fairy tales is the best English equivalent to the word in German. So they say fairy tales. Pardon me. What's up, baby girl?
Can I have some?
Yes, you can. As soon as I get finished, I'll get you some.
Okay.
All right. Cutie pie. It's the best equivalent for the German word, and I ain't even gonna try to pronounce it, but it's like Ochsmarten. So fairy tales is the best you gonna get. Hold on, I'm getting dried out. Cottonmouth, nigga. Hold on. Shit took a shot. But again, fairy tales is the best they could come up with. It used to be like Wonder Tales and this and that. But point being, you gotta they hold on. Let me fire this shit up before I get distracted again. Baby girl took me out. But let's get back in the zone. Alright. So the shit wasn't made for kids, right? They revised the shit 3, 4, 5 times, you know what I'm saying, to make the shit into what it is today. And a lot of what they did was take out the harsh realities of life. See, the reason why we bring up this book, I'm going to sit this one down. Reason why we bring up this book, The Kindness of Strangers, is because it was no thing. It was no thing. It was commonplace to throw away kids. The kindness of strangers. These niggas would get left. It was no thing. Brothels and whorehouses and shit was everywhere. They show you how there's a lot of prostitution and motherfuckers getting paid off prostitution and shit. Even in like the Wild Wild West, there was whorehouses. So even in like the Wild Wild West, there were whorehouses. Them bitches would get pregnant. This is why abortion ain't shit. And I can take it back to the sexual politics of Athens, but I ain't trying to introduce too many books. We're going to stay on topic here. I don't want us to take too much time. But it was no thing to get rid of kids. Even like I said, in the Wild Wild West, that shows you like how early on this mindset was still going on. The fucking Wild Wild West, right? So anyways, brothels, whorehouses, all that shit. Babies and shit were had. Babies were, it is what it was. And they would just get rid of them bitches. Leave them on the sidewalk, abort them if they could. But if they couldn't, they just have a baby, drop them motherfuckers off. This is how a lot of churches got them followers, neophytes, and this and that. This is where you see the whole concept behind nuns and this type of shit. It wasn't, as you might see in the movie, people just going off and devoting themselves to celibacy and this and that, whatever. That's why you don't see the shit now. It ain't such a smart fucking thing to do. And not to say it like that, but everybody's fucking. So you just gonna suddenly stop fucking after you know what fucking is and how good it feels or whatever else. I'm just saying, to each his own. But that's why you don't see a lot of motherfuckers doing it now. You don't see nunneries and all that type of shit now. Because nowadays, what you don't see is people throwing their kids away. Gangs of kids running around the streets and this and that. You see what I'm saying? So this is a whole nother book, whole nother motherfucking topic. How that shit ties into these fucking fairy tales, right? Peep gang. This shit was never fairy tales. It would more have been like wonder tales. Fairy tales even put you in the mind frame of a kid. But this shit was not for kids, okay? Not for kids, okay? Not for kids. So adults, why are we talking about adults? Why were adults coming up with these type of shits? Why did adults have these fantasies and whatever else in their mind? This is when I bring out this book, The Science of Love. Why are we talking about love? Why am I bringing up love? Why do I have this book, The Science of Love, and we talking about fairy tales? The Science of Love. Again, fairy tales. It's all about love. Look at what's going on, man. Look at the hero of these fairy tales, okay? And this is what this is what our kids are raised up on. How many times you done let them watch Frozen? So subliminally, they get in these messages. You know what I'm saying? The children are our future, whatever. We're supposed to be the adults teaching them. Okay? Aesop's fables, Grimm's fairy tales, a lot of them shits had morals to the story. The moral of the story here is you whoop to whoop to whoop, you do, and you get what the fuck you deserve. You know what I'm saying? The moral of life, this universe, is you get what you deserve. What you deserve. Nigga, I should have put the motherfucking... Where the fuck is the mask? Any goddamn way. Nigga, because we drinking. You get what you deserve, man. You get what you deserve. Alright? What you fucking deserve. And that's what this is all about. That's why this shit is so motherfucking hard. That's why this shit matters. That's why the fuck I'm on YouTube. That's why the fuck I'm so into crystals. This is what it's about, man. You get what you deserve. And you gotta prove that you deserve it. You feel me? Life is your fairy tale. You are living your fairy tale. You are the hero of your story. That's the point. This is not a fucking fantasy. This is not a fucking game. This is fucking real. This is real life. And it turned into fairy tales once they start trying to, let's go to mind control, manipulate the kids and get on top of the kids, because as adults, I say this so much, grown ass boys and girls, whenever you hear somebody say, I'm a grown ass man, what you're hearing them say is, I'm a grown ass boy. You a fucking boy. Boy. That's what the fuck you are. A goddamn boy. You feel me? A goddamn girl, little girl. Shut the fuck up, grown ass little girl. I'm a mature adult. I've learned shit in my lifetime through my experiences. I try not to make the same mistakes again, over and over again, or whatever. I take life as it presents itself to me in the fucking moment. Like a man. That's what we should be doing. That's why it's important to get into this motherfucking fairy tale. Read that shit. And you'll gain a higher understanding of life. Nigga, I promise you, this is an advanced channel. We advanced over here. Alright, I'm gonna take the mask off. Get back on some real shit. We advanced over here. It is not a fucking game. I'm not playing with you niggas. I swear to God, I'm not playing with you niggas. You know what I'm saying? This shit is real. You in a fucking fairy tale right now. You are the goddamn hero. Let me take it off the mind control, because we talk about that shit. Go back to the fairy tale shit. Alright? Kids. Alright? These niggas, this was not life. In comes the motherfucking Iceman again. Iceman's inheritance. Melanated people, sun people, black people, whatever the fuck you want to call it. We did not grow up in the ice. We do not have the same mind frame. It is a fucking mentality. You seen a nigga go crazy, because that's what the fuck it's about, man.